The Caribbean Sea conjures up images of sun-drenched beaches, reggae rhythms, and the distinct culture of Rastafari. Known for their dreadlocks, use of ganja, and devotion to Haile Selassie I, Rastafarians have carved a unique space in the world's religious landscape. What many may not realize is the surprising influence of Hinduism, a religion born thousands of miles away in the Indian subcontinent, on the development of Rastafarian beliefs and practices. This connection speaks to the fascinating ways in which cultures intertwine, borrowing and adapting traditions to forge new identities. The story of this cultural exchange is deeply entwined with the history of indentured labor and the resilience of displaced people seeking spiritual solace in a new land. The story begins in the mid-19th century, as the British Empire, hungry for labor after the abolition of slavery, looked to India to fill the void. The abolition of slavery in the British Empire in 1834 created a massive labor shortage on sugar plantations across the Caribbean. Desperate to maintain their economic interests, British colonists turned to a new system: indentured servitude. India, under British colonial rule at the time, became a prime source of laborers. Lured by false promises of prosperity and a better life, hundreds of thousands of Indians embarked on perilous journeys across the Black Water, a term referring to the vast and often treacherous ocean separating them from their homeland. Conditions on these ships were deplorable. Packed tightly into unsanitary spaces, many perished during the months-long voyage. Those who survived arrived in a new world, greeted not with open arms but with the harsh realities of plantation life. Though technically not slaves, their existence differed little from those they replaced. They toiled long hours under the scorching sun, subject to the whims of overseers and yearning for their distant homeland. Despite the hardships, the Indian indentured laborers clung fiercely to their cultural and religious practices. Hinduism, with its pantheon of gods and emphasis on dharma, or duty, and karma, or action, provided them with spiritual solace and a sense of community. Unable to build grand temples as they had in India, they created makeshift shrines in their barracks using whatever materials they could find. They continued to celebrate Diwali, the festival of lights, and Holi, the festival of colors, their vibrant traditions providing a stark contrast to the drudgery of plantation life.
This resilience did not go unnoticed by the African population, many of whom had endured centuries of slavery and the systematic erasure of their own cultural heritage. They saw in the Indians a shared experience of oppression and a deep connection to spirituality.
This led to a natural cultural exchange. They shared stories, songs, and rituals, planting the seeds for a new syncretic religious tradition to emerge: Rastafarianism.
Section 4. Symbols of resistance and reverence. Dreadlocks and ganja. Two of the most recognizable symbols of Rastafarian culture, dreadlocks and the use of ganja, can be traced back to this period of cultural blending.
While often associated with Africa, dreadlocks also hold significance within Hinduism. Sadhus, ascetic holy men in India, have worn their hair in dreadlocks for centuries as a symbol of their renunciation of worldly possessions and their devotion to spiritual pursuits.
Similarly, ganja or marijuana has been used in religious rituals in India for thousands of years. Considered sacred to Lord Shiva, it is believed to facilitate meditation, heighten spiritual awareness, and bring devotees closer to the divine. As Rastafarianism began to take shape in the early 20th century, these practices, passed down through generations of cultural exchange, were incorporated into its evolving belief system. Section 5. Lions of Judah, echoes of Shiva deity and destiny. The influence of Hinduism on Rastafarianism extends beyond outward symbols to encompass deeper philosophical concepts. For example, the Rastafarian reverence for Haile Selassie I, the Emperor of Ethiopia crowned in 1930, as the embodiment of God, or Jah, resonates with the Hindu concept of avatars.
In Hinduism, avatars are divine beings who descend to Earth in human form to restore cosmic balance and guide humanity towards enlightenment.
This connection is further strengthened by the Rastafarian emphasis on the lion as a symbol of strength, royalty, and divine power. Haile Selassie, often referred to as the Lion of Judah, embraced this symbol, further solidifying the connection to Hindu mythology, where the lion is closely associated with deities like Durga and Shiva.